evening, and welcome to another episode of Hard Factor presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Florida Man Friday, March 27th, 2020. And guys, it's Friday, and we're locked down, but that is no excuse not to turn up, okay? You got to turn up even in the lockdown. That's the movement. Go to the Barstool store, get the Lockdown Turn Up shirt to support Meals on Wheels, COVID-19 Response Fund. And now, get ready to listen to some Florida Man stories. It's going to be Pat, myself first, then Pat, then West and Mark today. How you guys feeling?
Well, we need this show, man. We need this show. It's been, with all the crazy shit in the news. We need a Florida Man Friday every once in a while.
Yeah.
And it's here. I got the Florida Man hat on, the shades. This is a Vancouver shirt, but it's Vancouver, Florida.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Will, going back to that Meals on Wheels, they absolutely need as much help as they can get because my girlfriend called them to see if they need volunteers, and they can't train volunteers right now because all their training facilities are closed down. So they're just
because they're not an essential service, right? So what Pat was mentioning that a couple weeks or last week, I think. The reason that we really need to get money to them at this point is because they need to be considered an essential service.
Yeah.
They probably need to get the right people in the faces of legislators so that they can be able to get that flipped over so that they can start delivering meals to the people.
They need all the stuff. They need all the
Yeah.
stuff. So let's get to the stuff they need.
Yeah. So unfortunately, it's not all Florida Man stories.
It's mostly though. It's mostly.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So we went. This is a momentous time in the country's history right now, and we are about to pass the biggest stimulus package, economic stimulus package ever passed in America. I guess
The
even larger than
MeUndies of stimulus packages.
right, the biggest, the best. This thing is, I guess, even bigger than the 2008, 2009. I don't know. The Senate passed a $2 trillion stimulus package. It's the number 3 stimulus package for the coronavirus response at about midnight on Thursday, so as early as you can get Thursday morning. It was passed in a rush because the Senate didn't like the original House stimulus bill that came to them, and so they got rushed through with this new one that they made with allegedly thousands of clerical errors that will need to be fixed on the back end.
I read most of it last night. Well, it is fucked up. I mean,
It's like 1,000 pages.
it's 885 or something like that.
I was about to apologize to the Senate because, as you said, we did the show, and then 2 hours later they passed the bill. And
Right. We were talking shit about them, and then at first it seemed like I woke up last night before I went to bed. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have talked so much shit. Then I woke up this morning, and I was like, the shit talking probably was okay.
They did do some good things for unemployment, correct? They just fucked up a lot of other stuff.
Well, anyways, this bill that got passed late night, early morning Thursday is going to likely be ratified in the House today, Friday, and then it'll be quickly signed into law by President Trump. And it's a good thing, Mark, right? Because we were talking shit yesterday saying that it needs to get done right away,
Right.
because it kicks off getting the stimulus money to families, people who desperately need it. And
Business owners.
Right, business owners, and also the 3 million people who filed for unemployment this week.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it provides tons of relief and at-cost loan options for the businesses, like you just said, Mark. So the small businesses, they need the help. The 3 million people who just lost their jobs need the help. But like I was mentioning before, the bill is allegedly fraught with clerical errors that may impact people like self-employed contractors and their access to unemployment benefits. So
that's what I couldn't find. I went to read it after I watched Bernie going hard on the House floor, and it was right after we taped the show last night. So I went and looked, and I was trying to find specifically where it mentioned, that unemployment benefits would be extended to $75,000 per person, including contractors for up to 12 months.
Right.
And it was really difficult to find. Wasn't really in there.
It's not. And so, Pat, it's not. It was the 12-month thing was bullshit. The unemployment is through December 31st, 2020 is what they ended up settling on. So, but it's still unclear. I've seen conflicting reports today, and this is why it's a problem, because it was pushed through in such a rush. And then now there's conflicting reports like, well, does it really cover all contractors or not? How much of the benefits are they eligible for? And so, I mean, I think a lot of these things are going to be sort of figured out in the wash after it actually gets signed into law. Yes, but I mean, the good news is that the $1,200 per adult is coming if you have less than $99K annual income after adjusted, all that stuff. And so that's good. But, you know, this is stimulus package number 3. They're already working on number 4 because this one, you know, it's riddled with errors, probably not going to do enough, blah, blah, blah.
You guys got to keep, I want to keep an eye specifically on the section of the bill which is titled Coronavirus Relief Fund. And it outlines what money is going to states. So $150 billion, in what I read, is going to states, right? And then of that $150 billion, $3 billion is going to District of Columbia, Guam, Puerto Rico, et cetera, our territories, right? $8 billion earmarked for tribal governments. Now, I'm all about hooking up the Native Americans, all about it. But it just seems like a little bit of a disparity there. It's like if
it's
there's
also
got to be more people in all of our territories in D.C. than the tribal lands.
Absolutely, Pat. I mean, there's a lot of questionable items on here. There's a lot of like arts funding endowments. You know, the Kennedy Center, like Trump had to take a question on yesterday. There's a lot of things that aren't related to the coronavirus recovery necessarily, and then how the allocations were done that are raising eyebrows. But I mean, it's kind of like when they passed through the stimulus in the last recession.
If the Kennedy Center can get it, can we get Meals on Wheels some fucking money?
I know. And, Will,
Right,
you took issue with this on our text thread. NASA's only getting $60 million. You were like, well, NASA shouldn't be getting anything. I disagree. I think NASA should be getting a fuck ton of cash here because, like, why is NASA in there in the first place? Because you immediately think, like, shit, are we going to have to leave the planet? Is this why? Is this why? And if that's the case, $60 million is nothing.
It's privatized, baby. It's Elon
SpaceX.
Musk.
Yeah, SpaceX is taking it over. Also, Pat, and I mean, you know, in my heart of hearts, I want nothing but marijuana research and NASA funding. But the reality is that this is just for the people. It should be just to get the people on their feet, to get American businesses on their feet.
Let me read you this language, okay? I want you to hear this. So, for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, Safety and Security and Mission Services, $60 million to prevent and to prepare for coronavirus domestically and internationally. What does that mean, Will? You read between the lines there.
Not a good enough description for $60 million. That's what that is.
You read between the lines.
I also know that we got a lot of Florida man stories.
Oh, sorry.
I don't
you're
really,
right.
I don't really give a shit.
Yeah. So let me just wrap this one up. So Trump on Thursday, President Trump, he had his next press conference, his White House press briefing, and he said there that we need to be strict on following CDC guidelines through this weekend. Of course, remember, everybody, 15 days to flatten the curve, and that he may be sending new guidelines to the governors next week, as early as next week in some states.
That sounds like liquor stores. Back to work. Oh, back to work. Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, he's saying that there's 3 million people out of work, and he wants to start putting them back as soon as he can in places where they can. There's still 19 states with under 200 cases, so he's thinking that maybe they'd be able to phase people back in quicker. Also said handshakes may be out forever because he was talking with Dr. Fauci, and Fauci was like, you know what? You know, the handshake thing could really stop a lot of flu transmissions every year. Why the fuck are we not just dap people up?
It's a perfect storm having a germaphobe president and this pandemic, and bam, we'll be telling our kids about handshakes. There you go.
Fist bumps. Handshakes are dead forever.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Are you going to get to the stats about the U.S.? Because
yeah.
Okay.
This is the next thing, and the reason we need to shift to fist bumps is considering the fact that we've got about 85,000 cases now, the most in the world of any country, and we're headed on the fast track to 100,000 cases. And of note, very important for many of our listeners, 55% of those cases are in New York City and other cities, urban areas. Detroit and Chicago are the next up-and-comers, according to Dr. Burks.
You don't say. They're in cities. Yeah. You don't say. But this is why we probably shouldn't go back to work yet, since we just took over as the #1 coronavirus
in
the world.
Rural areas.
Yeah, very rural. And very
the 19 states with 200 cases or less.
Yeah.
Dr. Burks also mentioned some interesting stuff about how there could be way more people who carry this virus that show absolutely no symptoms at all. And maybe that's why it spreads so fast. But we still don't know. And then she reiterated that that's the reason that research on, the vaccine and the treatments and everything is going to be so important. And then Fauci added that, the vaccine, it's going to be super important, but it may never be used, kind of like SARS. They have a SARS vaccine, but they never actually have to use
stuff,
it.
Will. A good friend of a good friend went to Facebook, and I didn't ask if I could divulge this information, so definitely not going to give out names, but he's positive for corona. He didn't have a fever ever. He didn't have cough. He had a little bit of shortness of breath, and he was tired. That was it. He took a little bit of extra naps, and he's 100% positive corona.
And that's what they're saying. It's still
Scary.
unknown. Still brand new things. Still super unknown. They don't even know what the best course of drugs to give you in the hospital is right now. They're still figuring that out. That's going on in live treatments. So Fauci says, hey, let the scientists do their work. Let them figure out exactly the best treatment. Let them figure out the vaccine. And, hold on to your fucking asses until we get that. And so that's pretty much it. Cross your fingers that the quote-unquote errors in the Phase 3 CARE Act don't fuck you over in your finances. Hope it doesn't fuck up our economy as a country in general. Stay in as much as you can. Wash your hands. Think about how you're going to spend that stimulus check when it comes in a couple weeks, assuming that everything goes to plan in the House. And then, meanwhile, you can get ready for Joe Biden, who's making no bones about it that he will be blaming the coronavirus entirely on President Trump when his campaign figures out how to run a live stream from his home, or he is allowed to go out of his living room for the first time in 3 to 4 months from now. So don't worry, guys. Joe has a plan.
All right, let's turn up. Let's go to Florida.
Let me say one thing before Florida.
No.
All right, fine.
Go ahead.
Okay. Anyone that's negotiated, a larger scale deal or been part of that in any way, shape, or form, it could take months. It could take a year to get a contract done, like a long form contract. This bill is essentially an 885-page contract that they cranked out in a week and a half.
Okay. I wish you'd said gone to Florida. Stop with the doom and gloom. Come on.
It's God bless him for doing it. I was saying good on him for getting it done.
Yeah.
It's you want to scream at him, but you also want to pat him on the back.
Florida. Come on.
All right, fine.
Who's up?
Pat is.
Oh, it's me. Okay. All right, guys, let's go to Florida, our favorite state. A Florida woman showed poise and grace last week as she was arrested for assaulting her boyfriend. This is 38-year-old LaDonald Shaky Holmes. She's been charged with a felony, although it's not for the domestic violence. The felony is because during her arrest, she allegedly yelled, "I have coronavirus," and then coughed in the face of a paramedic, landing, quote, copious amounts of saliva on the EMT's face.
Gross.
Oh, no.
Fuck this lady, man. Like nurses, like we've been saying all week, that's the last person you want to be spitting on right now.
Yeah, why didn't she just spit on her boyfriend who she
Punch
was
yourself in the fucking face before you spit on a nurse.
Well, guys, let me get
a couple weeks.
She also, that's probably the last thing that this paramedic had to worry about coming from this woman's mouth. Is coronavirus.
The coronavirus? I think that would be the first thing. Because sticks and stones, Wes.
I don't know.
Clarify. What do you mean would be worse?
I don't know. Something.
You think she had hidden razor blades that she had
something
control?
Sharps, sharps
other
in there.
crazy shit.
She can,
I don't know.
She had a loose tooth.
The normal Florida
she
stuff.
can gleek out acid like an alien.
A syringe just flies out of her mouth into the lady's eye.
I don't know.
No, that's Corona's the worst thing.
Yeah.
How much you guys want to bet LaDonald's father's name was Donald? Probably pretty high.
I don't know. Maybe.
Probably pretty high. The incident, before the incident, I have to say was pretty interesting, guys. So according to reports, LaDonald, she's a black belt in karate and, quote, roundhouse kicked her boyfriend in the face, breaking his nose before punching him. That was the domestic violence dispute that got the cops called in the first place.
That's pretty impressive that she broke his nose.
I agree. That's like
shows dexterity and aim and power. I mean, a lot of things going on there.
Well, Wes has been in a lot of Taekwondo classes recently. I've only watched like a couple trainings online, but it seems like, from what I know, which is nothing, it's a common drill to roundhouse kick like a small like little stick sticking out of, or someone holds a stick and you got to really place that roundhouse kick well.
It's one of the things that they really master is a simple roundhouse kick. Yeah.
Yeah, but it takes forever. Like unless
Usually-
you're Jean-Claude Van Damme, it's hard to execute in the field. Sure, you can kick a block, but
It takes a long time to get power behind it. It's easy
Yeah,
to look like
exactly.
it hurts, but it takes a long time to
she
actually.
took his nose off with
yeah.
it, Pat.
That's bad. Yeah. So
Yeah.
LaDonald's boyfriend later told police that the reason that she roundhouse kicked him in the face is because he declined to have sex with her. Big mistake.
Yeah.
You'd think
What
he
was
would
he
have.
thinking?
Yeah,
when a woman's
right.
got a roundhouse like that, you don't
Yeah.
say no.
no, he
No,
would have.
you get to munching right away.
Right. It's if she's your live-in girlfriend, you'd think you'd know that LaDonald needs her sex and doesn't like to be told no.
Should have broke his nose
Well,
on
that's
something
I
else.
mean, really, that's just humans, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pretty
much all humans are that way.
I've huffed, Will. I've puffed. I've pouted. I've never roundhouse kicked my partner
Yeah,
because she
good
wasn't in
point.
the mood.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Don't take it to violence, but make sure you're pleasing other people's needs too.
Right. And guys, I have to admit, I do feel bad for the boyfriend and of course the EMT. But honestly, the shining light in this story is: can anyone think of a more practical use of having a black belt in martial arts? Like, you train forever, you don't ever use it. LaDonald's
No.
like actively putting it to use, being like,
No. Most people use their martial arts training on their spouse, I would assume.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think so. You just don't hear about it. I like her use of it though. It's if she's using it if you don't have sex with her.
I mean, I
That's
would just love
pretty
to have
awesome.
heard what
Pretty
she
awesome.
said right before and right after. Like I just wish, I would pay so much to hear that conversation.
You should
Oh,
have-
she just screamed "motherfucker" and then
Yeah.
kicked him in the face.
yeah.
I bet
Stand right
she
there
Should have
and
had
don't
this
move.
puss, now have this heel. Yeah.
I guarantee LaDonald referred to her genitals in the third person.
Put your hands behind your back, motherfucker. Anyway, yeah. Moving on.
You got more crime for us, right?
That's that story. Wes,
all
what's up?
crime. All crime. All right, guys. 33-year-old Brady Bettis of Hillsborough County is what you might call a real pussy. Keeping grudges held deep inside and then enacting revenge on the people he dislikes in ways that enables Brady to distance himself from the person as much as he can, while still getting a sense of satisfaction that he is the bigger man. These are the same type of people that instead of challenging you to a good old-fashioned bout of fisticuffs, they may pour sand in your gas tank or slash your tires or spit in your food or in some cases just burn your house down, which is why pussies are sometimes far more dangerous motherfuckers than other people in the world. So
Is that what this guy did? Burned a house down?
No.
Well,
Luckily,
Wes, are you trying to explain the Billy Madison scenario where Steve Buscemi, he's quiet, takes a lot of shit forever, but then he comes back with the gun?
I guess
Yeah.
so, yeah. I mean,
or every school shooter or MacGruber or essentially anyone.
Yeah, MacGruber.
Yeah.
Anyone that
Gruber.
didn't
With
get
the
a
license
Like
hand
the
job.
guy who
plate.
parked in front of MacGruber.
Yeah.
MacGruber.
Well,
Yeah.
Will, applying your sweeping school shooter reform to just general pussies with the school
Yes.
nurses administering
Hand
hand
job.
jobs.
Yeah.
Could-
Well, I mean, I think that if you were able to get these guys into a scenario where they could let some steam off a little bit, you know?
yeah.
Give him to LaDonald, honestly.
I mean, I know that whatever I'm mad about, I'm not mad about after I let one out, rub one out, pop one off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're going to be calm for at least 10 minutes.
And that's good advice for everyone. If you're upset or bored, you can always
crank it
just
out.
jerk off.
I do it before making any major decision.
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah, this is why you
Clears the head.
just be nice to people because you never know who's a complete psycho and who's going to really, fuck with you.
what happened?
If you're wrong. Well, luckily for one cattle rancher whose fence Brady Bettis mistook for the fence of someone that he didn't like, all Brady's pussy ass did was repeatedly tear down his fence and gate, which was keeping his livestock in place. So authorities
let out the livestock? Fuck.
Yeah. So authorities knew they had to catch this big pussy that was intentionally intentionally damaging a fence containing cattle poses danger to the public and the livestock and is unacceptable. Sheriff Chad Chronister said. So they did some investigative work and asked. Yeah.
It's a great sheriff name.
Right. Yeah.
Chad
Old-
Chronister.
Old Sheriff Cece.
He made that one up on the spot. He's running from something. Sir, what's your name?
Yeah.
Chad
Chronister.
Chronister.
You're the new sheriff.
So they did some investigative work and asked people around town who the biggest pussy was within 50 square miles. And unanimously, they pointed to Brady Bettis, saying things like, has to be Brady. That dude is a fucking pussy. And the pussy you're looking for is Brady Betts. He lives right down that road. So when police went to question Brady, he did what pussies do and pussed out in front of the real men, the deputies of Hillsborough, and admitted to cutting down the rancher's fence, saying he was sorry and had made a big mistake and thought someone else he didn't like lived there. So deputies charged him with,
He wanted to cut down his enemy's fence, and he cut down a random guy's fence.
Yes, exactly.
What an idiot.
So he can't even do revenge correct.
He's a dumb pussy, yeah.
Jesus.
Charged with 4 counts of breaking / injuring fences containing animals, which is an interesting law, and will likely have to pay the damages of $1,000 to replace the better man's fence.
You know who the ultimate pussy was Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber.
He did this too. Well, actually, I used the example of pouring sand in the gas tank because of that Unabomber documentary, because that's what he did to the one guy's sawmill.
Charles Manson, same deal.
Good
Charles
point.
Manson sent his followers to go kill Terry Melcher, who he
Because
thought
he didn't have the balls to do it. Yeah.
and he thought lived on Cielo Drive, but no, Terry Melcher had moved.
Yeah.
God, psychos are commonly stupid. All right, I've got one fucked up restaurant story for you guys and one awesome one coming out of Florida. I'm going to lead with the fucked up one, not giving you the option. This one's going to make you mad. It made me mad. The Orlando Airport Chili's. Mad already, yeah, right? Orlando Airport
Good
Chili's. Right?
Isn't that the one? That's the one that PMT is obsessed with, right?
Oh, is it?
I think it's got an escalator that goes up to it.
Yeah.
Well, they need to address what happened here. The Orlando Airport Chili's franchise owner, the owner of this, it's not owned by Chili's, the HQ. It's a franchise Chili's, as most airport restaurants are. He or she, I should say, called all of their servers in to clean the Chili's, and then fired them meticulously one by one after the place was squeaky clean.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
The workers were called in and asked to disinfect and clean the entire restaurant before individually being taken aside and terminated, according to
Whoa,
the
well,
fucking kidding
Chili's,
me?
I mean, whoa, we got to be careful here because wow.
No.
It's a
That's
franchise. It's
don't-
not Chili's HQ. This is
will-
owned. It's like a 7-Eleven.
Okay.
It's owned by an individual that paid Chili's like
Wow,
$50,000.
that individual is
Yes.
fucked.
Right.
It's
So
not-
wow.
for you guys that haven't worked in restaurants, when you have to do the cleaning, right? It's
That's
usually
terrible.
like on a fucking Saturday, and it's mandatory.
Once a year type
and,
kind of
and,
thing.
and
like
it
once a
sucks.
quarter.
It
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
sucks because
Horrible.
you literally you don't make any fucking money when you're doing it because you're not getting tips.
Correct.
But
No,
it has to
like
be done.
$2 an hour. Yeah, it's terrible.
It has to be
Correct.
done. And the only reason you can fucking stomach it is because you're like, I have to do this to keep
Yep.
my job where I get my
Because
tips.
this Friday night, I know there's going to be some sick tips. So here's a quote. We were disinfecting all the tabletops, moving the booths, scrubbing the floorboards, wiping down all the walls, bleaching everything, and mopping. After we'd already cleaned, we were then told we were being laid off. This is from former employee Amarellis Medina. She said, I then had a panic attack and almost fainted. I was dropping to the floor. I couldn't breathe, and I have an asthma problem, or I have asthma too, so everything was out of control.
Oh, good.
So
They
they
asked their
almost killed her.
asthmatic employee.
They
Yeah,
almost killed her.
come there, right.
Less than a week earlier, the bosses assured the workers no one was going to get laid off during
Oh!
coronavirus. So they all thought they were coming in just to do one of those cleans that you guys just mentioned, and also because they knew Corona's around, they thought maybe they were just going to do those like once a month or more frequently.
Yeah.
No. They came in, cleaned, and got fired.
Wow.
That's fucked up.
I mean, that guy's. There's no way that this like he's got to be eligible for a suit at this.
He's got to.
Someone's got to expose his name. We need to find out.
They gotta slash that guy's tires.
Well, we need to talk
Poor
with PMT about
gas in
liking
his
that
sand.
particular Chili's.
I think the bringing them in because it was, I don't know what the rules in Florida were at the time, non-essential or what, but I mean, like it's incredibly fucked
It's
up.
fucking cruel, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's very cruel. All right, let's get to a much better news because fuck that guy or gal that owns
Oh, I thought that was
Chili's.
a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean but that is a good point. That's part of my take's favorite restaurant.
Well, they need to address
like
it.
in the country.
That's inexcusable what they did there. They need to address it. So let's go to a better one. A diner in a Skillets in Naples, Florida. Again, that was Orlando Airport, so just verify that. Chili's. A diner in a Skillets in Naples, Florida left a $10,000 tip last week and asked that everyone that worked in the restaurant get at least $500.
Wow.
The manager distributed it to all the employees, according to restaurant owner Ross Edlund. He said there's genuine concern from our guests for our staff, which is very heartwarming to me as the owner of a restaurant. He said, like, basically the people that come in are like family and all this stuff. And it appears that one of them is. He gave them $10,000. This was also actually the day before Governor Dipshit DeSantis closed down all the dining halls and restaurants. So just in time, well fucking played there by that guy.
Have you guys ever been to a Skillet? I've never been to a Skillets or even heard of it.
No, but I
I
would.
asked my wife, who's from Florida, and she's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, what's a skillets? Never heard of a skillets.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move over.
Sounds healthy.
Yeah.
Let's move over to the people that that commission the skillets, and that's the city commissioners of the state of Florida. And in this one, we're going to go to the city commission of Lake Worth Beach, Florida, where last week they had a you know, I guess in Florida it's called a commissioner, right? Instead of a city council. Most states call it a city council.
Right.
And so last week there was this Lake Worth Beach, Florida, city commissioner Omari J. Hardy, which great name. He got extremely upset because the town's mayor, whose name is Pam Triolo, she wasn't letting him talk, basically. And the commissioner Omari J. Hardy, he was trying to point out that Mayor Triolo and the city manager, whose name is Michael Borenstein, were fucking up their handling of the coronavirus. And he was trying to say that basically what happened was that Triolo handed over the power to Borenstein to run the city right before like state of emergency was announced, or they announced that, you know, in Florida it was a state of emergency. And what Borenstein did was he cut off power to 50 residents of the town the day before it would be forgiven because of the crisis, and so people's power could be left on.
People that were overdue on their electricity bills got just
correct by the city manager Michael Borenstein.
Well, I'm assuming that this person is friends with the owner of the Orlando Chili's.
You'd think,
Airport Chili's.
And what happened here?
The Illuminati in Orlando are really circling the wagons. Not cool, guys.
I don't know where Lake Worth Beach, Florida is in relation to Orlando.
It's in the same state as Orlando. I bet.
It is
Mark,
definitely
right.
in Florida.
They know each other.
But so basically what happened was this guy Omari J. Hardy, he's trying to make this point, right, about like, you guys treated these residents wrong, you mishandled the coronavirus, you didn't close the beach, mayor idiot, and basically just caused a big scene. Then the mayor, she stops she's like, I'm canceling this. This is done. You're done. I'm out of here. This is done. I'm done. She just like, you know, kept saying the word done over and over again. And I don't know. The funniest part about it was that Omari just like refused to acknowledge that she was canceling the meeting. So he just kept yelling at the city manager. You guys have seen the video, right?
I didn't see it. No,
I didn't see it.
What?
No.
It's a viral video.
Probably should have asked us that before.
Wow. This is like millions and millions of views. You're like, okay.
I miss a couple of those sometimes.
Yeah, like all the time.
Yeah. Like all the time.
Yeah. So
Got him.
So anyways, this video's got millions of views. It's great. So he's blowing up, and the mayor's trying to cancel the meeting, and she's unsuccessfully trying to cancel it, and he's just like, I don't care what you're saying. And then he's yelling at Borenstein. Apparently, Omari and Borenstein had to be separated at the end because they almost got into fisticuffs. And it's basically just like a classic situation. Like the mayor clearly is just trying to like protect her relationships and not have anybody see that she doesn't pay attention to anything. The manager doesn't pay attention to shit and is just like cutting off people's power because like that's just probably what he's supposed to do, and doesn't think about the fact that it's affecting everybody. And then this Omari guy, I mean, it's great. It's a great video. He went off, and it was great that he was defending the citizens. Well, turns out that he's setting up a run for the State House this year. So definitely
it's not all out of the kindness of his heart.
Right. It was an advantageous situation at the timing for him to go off. And I mean, you know, hopefully his heart is in the right place. It was definitely dramatic. Anyways, the real hope here is that hopefully somebody got those lights on to the 50 houses that they fucking turned off. There was no news about that. in any of the articles I read.
Yeah,
That is pretty important. I mean,
especially for refrigerators. Hey
And
guys.
the hashtag because this is Florida is what was going on with that. Because so not many people very proud of this this one in the Sunshine State.
Bummer, man. Well, hey guys, real quick, if you can't gamble on sports, which I know you can't because they're not happening, what you can do is gamble with Predict It. That's our partner. It's a prediction market. It's the stock market of news and politics. It's awesome. You can wager on the news. You can wager on politics. There is a lot of hot action going on right now during this downtime from sports. Right now, if you sign up for Predict It, the first time you sign up, you deposit $20, at least $20. We will match that $20. You just got to use our special URL. It's www.predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20. Go on and do that. Real quick, market to look at. So I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with Joe Biden. I'm not trying to get into the whole Joe Biden's losing his mind thing because I feel like, there's a bigger...
Oh, is there a market for that?
No, but there's a bigger conversation to be had. But Joe Biden has been fucking up when doing media appearances as of late. Joe Biden also
this
came
last
out.
week was like the worst.
It was bad.
If you haven't seen the compilation of bloopers from the last week, it was probably the best one yet.
I'm trying to not lean into it because there was a video circulating.
Well, it's cheap. It's cheap at this point. We've already
Yes,
leaned into it.
it's cheap.
Well,
So
it's every week.
It's cheap comedy at this point. We already leaned into it.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Hasn't
every
changed.
week.
Yeah.
It's just going to be. I mean, it's going to continue to be cheap.
I enjoy it every
for-
time.
till November. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, my point is Biden came out yesterday and said he's done with debates, probably off the heels of his media
No shit.
snafus this week. But at the same point, there was an electric video of Bernie Sanders on the House floor that dropped late Wednesday night. So my point being, guys, look at the prediction market of who will be the Democratic nominee. I went heavy on Bernie last night. It's already up. Yep.
You think he's going to pull it out?
I don't.
What was it?
I
What was
don't.
that? Was it at 3 cents?
I got
think
it
he's
at
gonna
4
bump?
cents. I
4
don't.
cents.
I don't
Okay.
think he's going to pull it out necessarily, but I do think that
Bump it.
if Biden keeps
Gonna
slipping,
rise.
Biden's at 81 cents right now. Andrew
Oh,
Cuomo
horror
overtook
of
him.
horrors. An unemployed person might make a few extra dollars than when they were
Yes.
making $12 an hour. Horror of horrors.
And that's the point of Predict It, guys. If there's something happening in the news, if there's something happening in media, it will shift market. So use your brain. Predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20. Get your first $20 matched. It's a lot of fun.
Very fun. That's a ballsy pick, Pat. I like the Bernie comeback pick. I think you could maybe get a couple cents on it, but I don't know. You know what the interesting part is? I've heard that maybe they might consider canceling the rest of the primary process.
Right, that's why you can get in on no on the favorites, like Joe Biden at like 80 cents for these states. That's why he's not at like 90 cents for these states. We were talking about that yesterday. So if you think they're going to cancel the primary, they're going to settle everything as no. Everyone
As
will
a
be
no.
no. So you go for the favorite, Joe Biden, at like 20 cents a share no on a state that's like, I don't know, like in May or something that's supposed to be primary in May. They might cancel them yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Good tip.
It's depending on coronavirus. I mean,
Yeah.
they certainly got a shitload of backlash when they tried to keep Ohio open. So
All right, Wes, what's going on?
Let's do it. All right. Another commissioner who's an idiot in Florida. It looks like
Yes.
So, guys, it looks like we don't have to worry about coronavirus anymore because the good people down in Florida have figured out a way to kill the virus with a common household item. And this next story explains why Florida is so fucked up, because idiots are running whole counties down there, like Okeechobee County Commissioner Bryant Culpepper, who during an emergency session last Friday claimed that sticking a hairdryer up your nose and heating up the nasal passages will cause, quote, the virus just falls apart and disintegrates.
Come on.
this is a great video too.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another viral one. And he said this in a city meeting as an adult who runs things. Quote, so you hold a blow dryer in front of your face and you inhale with your nose and it kills all the viruses in your nose. That sounds...
Did he demonstrate it? Did he do it? Did he
No,
demonstrate?
I don't know. Did you see the... I, again,
No.
missed this video, but...
You didn't watch this video?
No.
For your own story?
You
No.
did the story on it. You didn't watch the guy
you guys
say it?
know that I woke up from a nap in a
Are you
panic because I
kidding?
overslept. So this is no.
Okay, it's about 30 seconds long, and the guy saes, "Okay, here's how you do it. You blow your blow dryer.
Kinda
If
like
you
what
get
I
it to
just did.
130.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly what you're doing.
All right. I think I got it then. That sounds like a simplified way of doing things, but sometimes the cures for some of these diseases are very simple. So this idiot just thinks that the viruses wreak havoc on your body from where it hangs out in your nose.
Oh, why stop there? Why don't you just set yourself on fire?
Yeah,
Right,
what you
exactly.
want to do is you want to attack the virus's den. It has a den.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
right.
Want to
right.
topple the den. Then it's got no place to live, and it's going to go on to someone else.
That's
First,
a
you
basic
invite it in.
strategy.
You get it nice and cold. Put an ice cube on your nose. Get it nice and cold.
Yeah, maybe
Go
cough a little bit
outside.
so it thinks
Yeah,
you got a
talk
weak
to
immune
people.
system. Trick it.
Breathe
It's
in
reverse
people's
Trojan
sneezes.
horsing.
You
You
kill
want
the
it right
you
in
kill the
there.
mothership, and then the whole thing dies.
Exactly.
You could be
So-
a hero. You could
Yeah.
be a hero. Kill
Luckily,
the queen.
Luckily, an intelligent woman who have probably been keeping the state together behind the scenes for this whole time, Tiffany Collins, stepped up to make sure nobody listened to a fucking word Culpepper was saying, stating, quote, there's just a lot of misinformation on how to cure this disease, and I personally would just leave that to your medical provider. I've heard so much just sad information about how to cure this virus. So after realizing he was an idiot and after getting mocked for his statements, Culpepper put out this statement. I am heartfully sorry for comments I made on social media. I was only trying to give comfort to those in Okeechobee who have no insurance to treat their families. I should have ignored the comments that I perceived as hateful and the embarrassment I caused to my fellow commissioners and our administrator and her staff. So I don't think he
Wes,
get it still. I honestly
Wes,
still
did
think he doesn't understand.
Did the article you read about the video tell you where he found this information?
No, maybe it did. I don't know. You can tell me.
His answer for
Facebook,
the lady
right?
who. No, One America News Network.
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha.
And he goes. I learned it on One America News Network. That's the news. That's the new Fox News, to tell you the truth.
Oh my
Holy
God.
shit.
That was.
I wonder,
that was
if-
where he learned that.
If we have any listeners, from that county, if you're going on a grocery run, can you like at a Walmart or a Target, can you please check the aisle with the blow dryers and see if they're sold out?
Right, if they're all gone.
I mean, this
also,
guy. Yeah. This
also funny because that's the Trump-owned news network. That's the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
One
this
America.
guy sits in a building that taxpayers pay for, up on like a stage in like a nice chair, and like makes decisions, and it's bad down there.
Okeechobee, she's Okie Dokie, right? From Super Troopers. Am I on voicemails and stuff here?
Yeah.
I think someone pasted right over top of my story. So give me a second.
No worries. Does anyone know how hot a hairdryer gets?
Yeah.
Because it'll burn the
think
shit
I-
out of you.
Well,
I think I pasted over here. Let me read.
He said you need to get up to 136 degrees, I believe.
It gets pretty
before
hot, Pat.
falls apart.
If it's not on cold, I don't know how women do it. Whenever my wife she's been blow drying my hair because I'm trying to come up with new hairstyles because we're bored. It hurts. It's hot. Really hot. All right, so let me read a couple 5-star reviews first, then we'll play a couple voicemails. So first one is from 5-star review from P Trey Z, and it says title is Y'all Talk the Same. Love the pod. Easy to tell you guys have known each other a long time because of how similar you talk. It's crazy. Been listening for 6 months. I still can't figure out who's who. Mark's the loud one, I think. Yes. Seriously, though, I love the show. Keep killing it, guys. And then we got one from...
Thank you.
Yeah. Cosmonst says, great way to get some news. Just recently got into this podcast and I love it. I'm not into politics, but they provide just enough info to feel like you at least know what the hell is going on. All the other content is great as well. Keep it up, boys. So he's talking about probably this stuff. Florida Man Friday. 2 more. This one is from Fripp Kai. 5 stars. Title, they're all 5 stars. Too long. Go back to 30 minutes. So...
Well, hey, I hear you on that one, bro.
Yeah, maybe a poll.
I hear you big time on that
Maybe
one.
we
I don't
should-
want to do these long fucking shows any worse than you want to listen to.
we will go back
Correct.
to that once shit back
Wait,
gets back to normal. We're just trying
Oh,
to...
I can't wait to bring back the fucking stopwatch. Are you fucking kidding me? This is bullshit going this long.
And then last one is one we did, but it's a reminder for everyone out there. In about 30 minutes, spoiler alert. This is from TPG Tyler, Tiger King, 5 stars. You guys need to watch and review Tiger King on Netflix. This is the coronavirus Florida Man Friday that the Hive needs. We're going to do that. I'm going to do that as the very last story of the show in about 30 minutes, 25 minutes. So we'll give you another big spoiler alert. Continue to listen. If you haven't watched Tiger King, we'll give you a chance to bail at the very end of the show.
Thank you to the Hardo Hive. I'm surprised that all of our moms were able to set up new
Accounts every week. Yeah, it's
every
nice
week.
of them to
How do
keep
they know how to
going.
change name? I can't believe they know how to change names.
I know.
All right,
It's
I'm
advanced
gonna
for
play.
them.
I'm gonna play voicemails on my computer. I hope you guys can hear them.
No. You're going to have to remove your headphones.
You got to remove
Okay.
your
if
headphones.
you want us to hear anything.
All right, ready? Let's do it.
You made fun of me for this last time when I asked you if I had to do this.
This is why he never wants to do voicemails, because it's technological.
Can you hear it?
Start it over.
Restart it.
Ooh.
Better known as the greatest college football team to grace God's green earth. But I'm not here to gloat about how Will and I's college is better than everyone else's. Except Florida University. If you can get bumped on every day of the week. This is personal, so don't take
It's a good
that
point.
completely personal for the whole state of Florida. The real question is, who are the other more effective boys schools do they support and really support most? I know I saw a lot of LSU love out of the squad during our championship run. Maybe we can get y'all down here for the LSU versus Texas game, pouring it down. Maybe get a bar to host y'all, or at least cover y'all's drinking tab. Keep fighting the good fight during these trying times. God bless, and go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
So that's a good point. So headphones are back, and that's a good point. Texas is playing LSU next year again, right? Home and away. They're playing.
Yeah, home and home. So we
If that
smashed
happens.
them at home, and then
Yeah.
we'll smash them at our home
So
next year.
we'd love to go to that if we're playing sports. Then my school is Virginia Tech, the Hokies.
That's
where I
Mark
went.
talking.
That's where I went. This is Mark. For the people that can't differentiate us, I went to Virginia Tech. Go Hokies.
This is Pat. I'm actually an LSU Tiger as well, although I did not finish there. I started there with Will. We were suite mates. It was a great time. Saw some great games in
Kirby Smith.
in Tiger Stadium in Death Valley. Yeah, Kirby Smith, babe, which is still standing for some reason, but it's condemned.
Why would you
I
ever
guess.
get rid of Kirby Smith?
I also went to James Madison University, go Duke Dogs, and then Blue Ridge Community College.
Did you finish there? Did you finish there and there?
Here's what happened. LSU freshman year.
There was another CC, though, after.
Partied pretty hard. PFT started doing radio. I was like, what am I doing here? It was cheaper to go home to Virginia. Started doing radio with PFT at JMU.
Big show.
Tried to go back to LSU.
It's the same price.
Problem is, LSU had won the national championship my freshman year, and I'd failed a theater class at James Madison University. And when I tried to go back to LSU, even though I had
Admission standards got a little bit tougher, didn't they?
but I had a fucking 3.1. I had a 3.1 GPA when I was there at LSU. And they were like, so what did you do last year? And if I'd said
They were
nothing,
like, yeah,
they wouldn't let me back in.
There's like a lot of kids that want to come here now.
Yeah, it's crazy how football programs drive up the demand.
So that left me at Blue Ridge Community College for a year, then back to JMU, and then when these guys
We don't have a full hour to talk about your college history.
Okay, all right.
What team do you support the LSU Tigers, correct?
I support the Tigers wholeheartedly for D1 football.
There you go. Wes?
I started at UK and like Pat failed out of my school.
Wildcats.
Yeah, the Cats, baby. But I root for Penn State football. My grandfather played football for them, so the whole family kind of roots for Penn State because of that. And
Sorry
then,
about the rape in the family.
Yeah, it must
Yep.
have been a tough couple years
Yeah.
last few years.
Wes,
Yeah,
who
well,
do you what about your basketball team? Where did your dad play?
I like. Well, my dad played for Transylvania, but they're like a small no school.
That's a vampire school.
I mean, I still root for George Mason. That's where I graduated from when they made their run to the Final Four.
Mason!
So yeah,
There
That
you
was the
go.
best year because LSU was in the Final Four that year too. That was awesome.
that was the year I
loved it.
graduated. It was the Final Four
Yeah.
run. So I still root for them when
fun
they
time.
make it to the tourney.
Big baby Glenn Davis, and then there was that huge guy at George Mason who was dunking on everybody. Excellent year.
Yeah, I don't
We
know.
know-
Excellent tournament.
We know
Excellent
where
tournament.
Will's allegiances lie, as the voicemailer knew.
I was actually wearing a number 7 LSU football jersey. Didn't even know that voicemail was coming. This is just everyday wear for me.
All right, hang on. Let me take out the headphones. We got one more.
Hi, yes, it's
Well, you know what I'm talking about. Sorry if I'm out of breath. Got a little cardio in this morning, which made me think to myself. If we had a choice, boys, and Fauci was not our dude to poke the coronavirus right in the nuts. If you had any choice of any beefcake, past, present, future, who would you choose? Myself, I'd go with my boy Arnie. You know, Schwarzenegger, the governor. But I'm pretty sure Fauci's gonna punch this thing right in the nuts. So give me your feedback, guys, and have a great fucking day.
Reagan, that was
Nice.
was really short-sighted going with Arnold. Great choice, but short-sighted. The answer's pretty obvious, guys. You guys want to tell them who we choose to take down the coronavirus?
Macho Man.
The Macho Man, Randy Savage.
The Macho Man?
He said past, present, or future. That means dead
He did.
people. Macho Man.
Yeah, it's
He
the
did say
fucking
that.
Macho Man, Randy Savage.
I don't know. I might think like Napoleon or Joseph Stalin.
Would all
I
get their
want-
asses kicked by Macho Man.
I
Randy
want a
Savage.
coked up Macho Man Randy Savage screaming at the coronavirus.
He's fucking. He's electric.
Here's how you beat the coronavirus if Macho Man's alive. You tell Macho Man that coronavirus is hitting on Miss Elizabeth, and he will go nuts.
But see, the thing about Macho Man is I could never imagine him social distancing with anybody.
That's true.
No,
I mean, he's got to be up in there.
it's close
So
talker.
you need a general that doesn't fight, like a Napoleon.
Right.
Yeah, like a Napoleon.
Oh, you know who? What you know? Who you choose? You choose General Sherman, that guy who was in the Union military who burned down all the towns in the South.
There you
That guy
go.
would crush the coronavirus.
That evil bastard.
He would just burn everybody alive. It would be crazy.
I'm sticking with Macho Man, but those are the voicemails and 5
No,
stars.
I got a serious answer for that.
Okay.
Another Italian American, great Italian American, Al Pacino, from Any Given Sunday. I feel like he could give a good speech. Like, this is a game of inches. You got to stay away. You know, the virus you can come inches within it, but you know.
By the way, I
you know-
rewatched that movie recently. There's no better football movie ever made.
Oh, Any Given Sunday is so underrated.
I think it's
so
on.
good.
I think it's on Netflix too. But you know what I'm gonna watch tonight? Since you mentioned Al Pacino, I might watch Scent of a Woman. I haven't seen that in a while.
Another good one.
That is a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Very
Young
emotional.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. Come on.
Yep. All right. Who's up? You got to scroll back up. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
You know what, guys? You know who those who those reviews and voicemails were brought to us by besides the Hardo Hive? It was brought to us by MeUndies.
Nice.
MeUndies is the best underwear company in the world. They're based in LA. It's the softest fabric ever. It's sustainably sourced, so they could make these things forever, and it's not going to hurt the earth. Awesome prints, amazing prints, up to 4XL. I love them because they're just the most comfortable underwear I've ever worn, period. The prints look amazing. The prints are fun. The cut is flattering, as we've covered before. The penis appears larger inside these things. It's not a joke, for real.
Much larger.
And yeah,
It's like an optical illusion. It's weird.
right. It's like it's like buying an oasis for your crotch.
It's like
Yeah.
it's
Crotch
like
You almost
now
feel-
looks like an oasis.
You
It's
almost
like-
feel dishonest.
God.
Yeah.
God has actually been listening to your prayers.
Yeah. And then you take them off, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're disappointed. You put the MeUndies right back on.
Yeah.
Because you're like, man, I look way better with these things on. My wife says so, at least. So whether you opt for a solid black, which you might need sometimes, the right occasion, or the unicorn print, whatever you want, you're going to be as comfortable as a cuddly kitten. It's time to end your toxic relationship with your tattered old undies. MeUndies offers endless options for those looking to up their undie game. You can choose a monthly membership, build a pack, and you can even match your undies with your other half. Ooh, fancy couples undies. No matter what you choose, you'll get a soft, sustainable pair of undies delivered straight to your door with free shipping. Win-win all around. MeUndies has a great offer for our listeners today. Any first-time purchaser gets a 15% off discount and free shipping. That's very good. This is a no-brainer, especially with a 100% satisfaction guarantee that you're not even going to need to use. To get your 15% off your first order, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/factor. Again, that's MeUndies.com/factor.
All right, guys. A viral video posted to Twitter back on March 21st shows a Florida woman who's either scared of the coronavirus or has a whole big-ass family with irritable bowel syndrome because she single-handedly bought out the Pompano Beach dollar store's entire supply of toilet paper, paper towels, and napkins.
Fuck her.
Yeah, I'm talking needing 3 to 4 full-size hotel luggage carts of paper products and loading them into a big black pickup truck that ended up looking like the Beverly Hillbillies moving van once they were all loaded in.
Hilarious. Why did they let her do that?
So the CEO of the dollar store came out and said this is against company policy and someone fucked up. But there was a woman who was filming the whole ordeal and essentially shaming this woman who I'm going to call Toilet Paper Tammy. And it was like 5 minutes of her watching this woman hoist box after box of shit paper into her husband's truck. Probably her third husband, but it wasn't on the video. But apparently, the woman said that Toilet Paper Tammy told her to go fuck herself before the video began.
Makes sense.
Yeah. The woman then bizarrely yelled, "Go, Donald Trump, go!" for some reason. And then
What?
Yeah, it was weird. Well, the woman was like, "Are you a Trump supporter?" And she like lightened up. She's like, "Go, Donald Trump, go!"
That's not weird.
Oh.
Yeah,
well, it's weird of her to ask that. Are you a Trump supporter? Because otherwise, I would have said.
What does that
It's also weird of you to though, like, while you're doing something heinous, like support. That's like
your political party.
That's like raping someone and being like, "Go Tigers!"
Yeah, you should throw out the other political party.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
The camera woman had asked Tammy which street corner she'd be selling the toilet paper on. To which Tammy surprised America with a cutting quip when she replied, "The corner that you're a hooker on," which I thought was just really delightful. Anyway, like what
Tammy.
Tammy was ready to throw.
She was ready.
Insults or hands.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to roll up on Tammy. She might have more than that ready to go.
Stop buying out stores of toilet paper, guys. Stop doing it.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to stop people, apparently. I don't understand what the toilet paper craze is.
Guys, you can order it from Amazon. This is from Amazon.
Look at that.
Right here.
Cool.
Right
That's
here.
good stuff. All right, guys. Don't you like getting things for free?
Yes.
Yes. Well, with your credit card, you can get cash back, airline miles, or deals on restaurants. If you want your bank to give you money more for free, you need Wealthfront. Whether it's free hotel stays, airline miles, or points to spend where you'd like, your credit card helps you get 1% back on the things you care about. But what does your bank account give you? Make your money work harder with Wealthfront. No one wants to be average. We all strive to be exceptional. Shouldn't your bank strive to be exceptional for you? Wealthfront is the bank that's committed to helping you earn more. Nothing average about that. With Wealthfront, you can save, plan, invest, and get financial advice all in one place. It's your one-stop shop for wealth management. It's easy and fast to get started. It only takes $1 and a few minutes to open an account. You can even do it right from your phone. No paperwork required. There are no fees, and your money is FDIC insured. Along with making your money work harder for you, they are also giving away money to 4 lucky people starting March 26th, which was yesterday. So you got to get on this. Wealthfront will give away $25,000 each week for 4 weeks. That's $100,000 total in free money. See how you can qualify for the giveaway by visiting wealthfront.com/factor. You're just sitting around. Fucking get on wealthfront.com/factor. You might win some money. Sign up for the Wealthfront cash count now, and you'll be automatically entered to win at wealthfront.com/factor. Go to wealthfront.com/factor and start earning 19 times more interest on all your savings. That's wealthfront.com/factor. Here's the legal stuff. Wealthfront is not a bank. Cash account is offered by Wealthfront Brokerage LLC, member FINRA, SIPC. Wealthfront conveys funds to partner banks who accepts and maintains deposits, provide the interest rate, and provides FDIC insurance. The APY is subject to change. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. See official rules at wealthfront.com/factor.
Comeback ad read of the year.
Yeah.
Wes was sitting on that.
That was smooth.
That was so smooth. You were thinking about that one, huh?
Oh, yeah. I started to mess up, and I was like, here we go.
You've been practicing?
Did you practice the legal terms and disclosures?
I did not practice it.
You were just shower, maybe. You were in the zone. You were just
in the zone.
it.
Yep.
All right, Mark.
That's it. We're going to Tiger King.
This is the deal.
We're done. So this is the end.
Spoiler alert, you fucks.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Will, you already did Banana Republic? You're done? We're done?
Spoiler alert. Yeah,
All right.
I'm already done.
All right, so guys, spoiler alert. If you have not seen Tiger King on Netflix to completion, then thank you so much for listening. We love you. Stay safe, be kind to people, and have a great fucking weekend. Again, spoiler alert. In 10 seconds, we're going to review the entire season of Tiger King, the story of Joe Exotic and others, which is a must-watch on Netflix. So if you haven't seen it and you even think you're going to see it, have a great fucking weekend. Okay, let's go. So first of all, you guys finished the entire docuseries, correct?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Fabulous.
Because this is like a book club, and if you didn't,
And first of
I'm gonna
all,
find out.
let me say, I tweeted this, but thank you to the Hardo Hive for requesting this as a story on this Florida Man Friday, because I had given up. I'm an impatient man. I had watched like 45 minutes of the first episode and was like, this is too fucking boring. There's no way I'm gonna get through this thing. And I kept watching. It was incredible.
Yep. Yeah, you owe him a favor there. And like Will says, has said every day this week, it does start a little bit slow. Episode 1 is probably the worst episode, and it's not bad. It's just a little bit slow. It doesn't really prepare you for what's coming. It's basically like kind of sets the scene. But there's so much content and so many crazy characters, I think they could have done a better job. But basically, it starts with Joe Exotic. Right? He's the owner practitioner of this Oklahoma zoo that specializes in big cats and tigers and focuses on bringing in people at a very expensive ticket price to get a unique experience to like pet tiger cubs and experience like feeding giant tigers, and also experience Joe Exotic, who is a star in his own right? Right? Like he's a flamboyant gay man with 2 husbands, both of which work at the zoo, and he shoots guns and they explode stuff every day, all day, and his zoo is pretty wild. So that's basically episode 1. They do mention his like antagonist, Carol Baskin, in episode 1, who is the owner of a animal conservation
Big Cat Rescue
in Tampa. So
On
that's
the
not a
Baskin
zoo.
note,
Yeah.
I thought they did an awesome job, and like it was very similar to I don't know if you guys saw The Outsider recently, but how it kind of like switched on you.
Yes.
Where you thought it was one thing, but it was a different thing. I thought they did such a rad job with the setting up Carol Baskin as a
agree.
hero.
Oh, yeah.
When
I
really
agree.
she's probably the biggest piece of shit of the
That's
three
why
of them.
Will was bored, because he was like, "Oh, I get it. Joe,
Yeah, I'm
Joe
like,
Exotic's an asshole. We already covered this on Hard Factor a year ago. He didn't."
No, I figured.
Yeah.
No. I figured Carol Baskins was not a good person, because the way they start the show, actually, probably too much foreshadowing. They should have not talked about how all big cat owners are dangerous people at the very beginning, which they did. So you kind of knew shit was coming with Antel and Baskin.
Also, they're interviewing people with just missing limbs, and like that's foreshadowing.
But not at Baskin's place. So yeah.
Right, but they kind of like, you could tell like it wasn't everybody was going to have skeletons in the closet.
For
Well,
sure.
let me ask you guys this on that note, because there's been a lot of heated debate. So you got your 3 big ones. You got Joe Exotic, right? You got Carol. You got Doc Ansel. Which team are you on?
Well, I mean, there's 3. They're all against each other now.
So one is a convicted murder for hire. One is I'm pretty damn certain murderer, and the other is a cult leader that seduces young women and definitely kills all of his tigers.
Gas chamber tigers.
So what team are you on?
None of these fucking guys.
You have to pick one.
No, absolutely
No.
not. Absolutely not. I'm not on anyone's team.
Who's the lesser of the 3 evils? I think it's Joe Exotic.
Potentially Joe
The
Exotic.
lesser. Wow, that's a hard thing to say
yeah.
though, because Joe did a lot of fucked up things.
He was also
exploded
killing
his own
tigers.
fucking-
Pat, that's like marry, fuck, kill, like cancer, AIDS, and like like Corona. Like they're all bad.
Well,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
fine.
And Baskin went after his parents, which was fucked up.
So Carol Baskin, outside of the one murder, is probably the best person. So the one human murder.
I think.
I mean,
I don't know. I
honestly,
think
like-
Ansel's probably. I don't know.
What?
But
he's
Ansel-
the worst.
I don't know. I don't know.
He's a cult. He's a cult leader.
Carol Baskin killed a human and also, was fucking over this poor guy's old parents.
I'm a sucker for the cats, and Carol Baskin's the best for the cats. And she killed him mainly because he was going to take all of the money and take the cats away from her. That's
So
why she killed him.
did he die?
She killed him because she wanted his fortune. That's
Right.
not why she killed him.
Well, she wanted his fortune, but she also
She doesn't give a fuck about the cats, bro. Are you
No,
kidding
she
me?
does. She
Carol
does.
Baskins does not care about cats.
Oh, she does. She does.
What?
That's why she killed him, because he was going to move the operation to his new girlfriend in Costa
No,
Rica.
no.
He was going to Costa Rica and taking the cats with him.
She
and
wanted the money.
But
She's
she was a
very
fucking
obsessed with
fraud,
cats.
Mark. She's a fraud. She's sitting there saying she's trying to make a fucking profit. She's
Yeah.
making a profit, and she's sitting there saying, I'm not making a profit here. I'm not. And she also fucking used to breed cats. She's the biggest goddamn hypocrite
That's
on
true.
the planet.
She also has
Right, she started as a breeder.
I think
She-
she's
yes,
the worst
she did.
because she's a hypocrite. That's why I think that she's the fucking worst.
She is a hypocrite.
think you kinda gotta-
She also has
Well,
a
they're all
thousand.
hypocrites.
They're all
You can't-
terrible.
You kind of gotta love big cats to get in this shit. Otherwise, you're just a complete fucking psycho. Because why would you want to deal with that in your life?
Right,
All these giant tigers.
I keep thinking about that. Did anyone else feel stressed out? Because like if you leave your house for too long and you know your dog is at home, like not fed or not out, like it fucking stresses you out. Multiply that by a fucking million with 227 tigers, and they're not cages not strong enough to hold them, and not enough space to keep them.
Yeah.
And you
Carol,
got to
that-
feed them 10 grand worth of food a day.
Yeah, the
Unless
food's-
you're Joe
food's-
Exotic, you
food's
feed them off the
expensive.
back of a Walmart truck.
Yeah, which was gross. He was getting expired meat, and he was
Oh.
giving it to the, he
Hey,
was giving it to the
and-
animals, which that's fine. That's fine for the cats because like it's not fine for the cats, but it's fine for the
But
cats.
when he made the pizza,
The
Yeah, he
pizzas
made the
with it.
pizza, I was
he
gonna
made,
say.
he made pizzas with it.
Oh, yeah, that's fucked up.
Carol Baskin also has thousands of volunteers that she doesn't pay money to, and gloated about it. Why would
Can
I
we-
pay money to?
Can we talk about what kind of bizarre
they're all
social
three bad people.
scenario Joe Exotic set up, right? This is really interesting. So he's in Oklahoma, a traditionally very, very conservative state.
Right.
And he's a gay man. He's a gun toter. He owns a big cat farm. He's created a really interesting social vacuum where he's able to
Ran
lure
for
in
mayor.
men that are not gay to
Right.
be his life partners.
well, yeah, with
Drugs, yeah.
it was mostly
Pat,
meth.
they
meth.
both
Or
well,
meth addicts,
one of them admitted he
apparently, right?
wasn't gay, yes, because he's alive. The other one shot himself in the head accidentally. The big, tall, handsome dummy, Travis. Travis shot himself in the head accidentally in front of the campaign manager, who was also one of my favorite characters.
That guy. Now
He's
that
selling
poor
guns
guy.
at Walmart.
That poor guy.
The ex Walmart manager who had to watch it. He was like, he was trying to talk about his libertarian values throughout it, and it's like, dude, you're not the star of the show, but he became
poor guy.
he became a very funny part of the show.
Did you guys think so the guy that came in, Jeff Lowe, right, who kind of like took over the big cat farm?
that guy might be the worst of all of them?
Right, I agree. But let me ask you guys a question. So when Joe Exotic was running for president, right, Joe Exotic clearly knows how to promote. He's a promoter. He spent I think it was like $80,000 or $100,000 out of the zoo's money on his campaign.
For governor or mayor, wasn't he?
Right, but like
Well, he started as president and pivoted to
Right,
governor.
and-
Yeah,
but
he got third place in governor.
I was sitting there
Out of
thinking, like,
12.
why,
Yeah.
why is Jeff Lowe so fucking pissed about that? Like, that's actually kind of a genius marketing move, and ultimately down the line will pay dividends.
Oh, well, because Jeff Lowe, I mean, the thing about it is, I think the reason your question, like Mark was saying, all three people you wouldn't want to, like, get involved with, Baskins, Antel,
Yeah.
or Exotic. You also don't want to get involved with Lowe. I mean, he's the most cunning out of all of them. He outconned Joe Exotic. I mean, he conned a con.
He's an elite con. I don't know why
Yeah.
Jeff Lowe did the show, because he comes across as a con artist, and all the things
Yeah.
he says are con artisty. And it's almost like he wanted to do the show to let America know how good of a con artist he
Right.
is.
He conned Joe Exotic, who's
Yeah.
like who is is essentially a con man himself.
Right.
In some ways.
Right, Jeff Lowe lives to have attention. He lives to have persona.
Well, so does Joe Exotic.
Right, but you
yes,
know what's
of
interesting?
course.
You know how the Mooch told us on the Mooch interview that he had interactions with Madoff and something didn't add up? Like, that it was really profound for me, because like when Jeff Lowe came in, it was like, something doesn't add up here. And like,
Right.
that's just a great rule to live by. If
Well,
there's a
Jeff-
dude who's got a
Yeah.
Ferrari and you can't
Why is
explain
he
how he
there?
has it.
Yeah. Well, Jeff Lowe, when he came in, he started videotaping secretly everything.
Recorded
Joe,
everything,
record everything Joe Exotic did, and he would get him to like say, "Don't you want to kill Carol?" into camera, and then I'm pretty sure he orchestrated the entire. Well, you got to pay. You know, I think he orchestrated.
Absolutely.
I think Jeff Lowe orchestrated 100%. That Joe Exotic probably wouldn't have acted on it without Jeff Lowe forcing him to. And also, I think that the guy that was Jeff Lowe's right hand man, that was like the bald homeless guy that was like insane, that had the teardrop tattoo, that he was like, he's a good worker. I'm pretty sure Jeff Lowe uses that guy to just commit his dirty work everywhere he goes, and I think the teardrop tattoo from that guy was from Jeff Lowe having him kill someone.
Yeah, but why would you, if you're Jeff Lowe and say you've gotten away with this whole documentary, the whole releasing of the documentary now has people being like, this guy should be in jail, and it makes the feds look like assholes.
That's
they're
what
all
He's fucking himself by doing this, because now people want him in jail, and they're like, well, we have to figure something out.
So Wes,
that's what I was.
you're
That's what I was just
questioning-
saying, Wes. Why did Jeff Lowe do the documentary?
Right, you
I
guys
know.
are questioning his decision making from the guy that fucking bought a tiger farm in
Right.
in Oklahoma.
I think
That's
Pat's
why
point about Right. They're all obsessed with being famous.
Yeah.
All of them. All 4 of them.
Yeah.
Antel, Exotic, Baskins, and Lowe, all of them want to be famous.
What about
and they're all...
What about the fat guy at the end that like
He
was
does
the
too.
Informant? The
I think he
informant,
does
yeah.
too.
He was the
Yeah.
informant. He's shady. He was like he had the fake,
Yeah.
he had the illegal lemur, and then he's driving the jet ski Kenny Powers style at the end.
Yeah. Why would he do that scene if he didn't want it in the movie, you know?
Right.
Like,
Can we talk about Jeff Lowe's outfit? And this is a Florida thing, I think. Why is it that men who get into their 50s and 60s but won't admit it wear affliction and those pants with the white embroidery on the
are they
butt?
like True
fleur-de-lis?
Religion
Why-
jeans?
Why
Yeah,
is
oh,
that?
yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, Jeff Lowe looked like an idiot the whole show. I don't think. I mean, he was in Oklahoma. Maybe he lived in Florida at some point in his life, but
He was in Vegas first, right?
he was in Vegas, and then but
Vegas,
he wasn't really in Florida. But he dressed like a Florida person. You're right. He also was hilarious with his like hot young wife, and he bragged about how he would bring in their swingers.
oh, he has extra girls.
But yeah, but they're swingers with other girls. They're not swingers with like dudes. Like he would just like bring in women to the relationship. Doc Ansel has 5 wives. Joe Exotic had 2 husbands that weren't gay. The Jeff Lowe had a wife and he would bring in women. Like it was
Carol had multiple husbands.
well,
who
Carol
she
had
abused,
Carol
all
had
of them.
Carol had a dom. She was dominant to the husband.
Oh man, when
He-
she turned
he
around,
would-
she goes, "You're following me again." To that guy.
Yeah. And he took the picture where he's on his knees in the chain for their wedding. Like
that was pretty fucking awesome.
That guy.
Okay, let
fuck
me
that guy.
rephrase my question. If you
Yeah.
if you had to live or work on one of the 3 farms,
Oh, I
which
would
Ansel,
rather-
Ansel.
Yeah,
Antle.
Ansel,
whatever.
Ansel has better facilities. And-
Antle seemed like the least like you could at least like probably leave. Like, cause like that
Yeah.
girl who they interviewed, like she was like, well, one day I finally got the balls up and I just left. And like, so he's
Yeah.
just like, he's keeping them there through peer pressure.
Pat, here's the problem with Joe
Yeah.
Exotic's thing. It's going to be fun, but you saw his living quarters. They were like really disgusting.
I
He didn't
agree.
he didn't have enough money, so you have
and Joe was using drugs.
You're
Joe was
only
using
you're
drugs
only
to
going to
keep
get
people.
meth there. At Doc Ansel's, you're
Right.
going to get all sorts of like hallucinogenic teas and like
Yeah, yeah.
blowjobs and shit. Like
He's
it's
like a
going to
guru.
be.
Also,
Yeah,
did-
there's a
did
lot
you
of
guys
cooler
see
shit going on in
the
Ansel's.
size of the houses that he had for his ladies were like mansions.
Pretty nice.
I-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's-
Did you guys feel this like so? Okay, so we all been out to the Wheeler Ranch, right? And we've seen what like in Texas, you go to some big fucking ranches like no other
Yeah.
state I've ever been in. Wheeler Ranch is
Yeah.
like what, like 3,200 acres,
Just big ass.
and it's
yeah,
massive,
yeah,
right?
huge.
Once you get the scope of like what a private ranch is like in Texas, then you hear like I think Carol's property was 40 acres with all those fucking tigers. I was like, man, that's nothing. Like that's fucked up. In some
Yeah,
like,
it's true. Her place was dinky. Carol's whole setup was pathetic. Like everything about the whole, you don't want. It's like Mark said. It's like 3 diseases. You didn't want
Yeah.
to catch any of them.
One guy that gets lost in the shuffle was that like Mario guy that like was the drug dealer. Remember him? They went
Oh
to-
yeah, that guy.
They
He was
get-
the least crazy of all of them.
I know, and he was
the
quiet.
major drug dealer.
Yes, that guy was pretty cool. Yeah, he was running another zoo, but he was like, I guess I'll do the show, but he didn't. really
oh
want to.
right, yeah, who
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
busted?
yeah, he was like the least weird of all.
He was the least.
major zoo owners.
He was the least attention seeking by far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It
Well,
was-
getting caught, being a major drug kingpin probably
at this
changed
time,
your
yeah,
outlook.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Do you
at this
guys
point in
think
life,
Joe
it's like-
Exotic committed the crime of trying to have her killed? Really? Like, do you think? Or do
No,
you
I
think,
think that Jeff Lowe completely
Jeff-
So if you watch the documentary series, he
says it.
He threatens
says
to
it
kill
right
her.
there.
He threatens to kill her a billion times on his reality TV show. He's got her head in a
Yeah.
jar. He says it 7 days a week. So what Jeff Lowe picked up on pretty quickly is he says it enough that I can get him to commit money to it. He's going to go down. So I think Jeff Lowe put in the cameras and then just
And
pushed his
then-
buttons.
Mark, he said it. He said, so Jeff Lowe, they replay, if you watch the last episode again, they replay the scene from Joe Exotic's office.
Yep.
Where he like confirmed.
Don't you want to kill her?
Yeah, yeah. Where he confirmed. So they replayed it. And then they showed Jeff walking in there mad at him over the presidential run stuff. And he said, by the way, if you thought that we were recording you the whole time, we were, and you're fucked. I'm going to use it. So
Exactly.
he even admitted on
I
camera
know, he
basically
I
to
know.
setting him up.
Yeah.
And if you watch it, here's also what happened. So I think the first murder for hire was with Jeff Lowe's bulldog, the guy with the teardrop, the homeless
by the way,
guy.
when you saw him with his shirt off compared to him with his shirt on, very surprising body difference. When they were doing those
bathtub?
first interviews, you're like, oh, this guy's like an older ripped guy. And then he takes his shirt off, and you're like, what?
I
That guy's got a
I
weird body.
I didn't
drug
think
addict.
I didn't think that guy was ripped.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Relatively, Mark.
the guy that supposedly was supposed to drive to Florida for $3,000 and kill Carol, but then did drugs instead. He kept saying to camera, "I guess I chickened out," and like sarcastically, because that guy doesn't chicken out of shit. Jeff Lowe called it off. It wasn't working out. Jeff Lowe got Joe Exotic to pay his guy $3,000 to go to Florida. Something wasn't adding up, and Jeff Lowe didn't think it was going to stick, so he called it off. That's why he's like, "I guess I chickened out." He said it like 3 times.
Who blew
so
up?
Jeff
You
Lowe
think
then
they were
had
really
to
going to go through with it? I don't think they were ever going to go through with it. He didn't.
Well, I know,
chicken
but
out.
he didn't.
He just
think,
stole the money and ran.
That's what I'm saying. No, he didn't steal the money and run. He was on Jeff Lowe's orders, and Jeff Lowe didn't think the FBI or whoever would have enough information, so they called it off. And he's like, "Yeah, of course you can keep the money." Then he hired the fat guy to come in.
Never going to do it.
The fat guy came in and they orchestrated well, let's actually get like the FBI involved, because the fat guy's like, the FBI's already on me for this lemur. Let's get like a undercover FBI guy to pose as the hitman, and then they got Joe Exotic to, like, in text and in writing say, "Yeah, I'll pay you." And once you do that to an FBI agent, then it's done deal.
Yeah,
So-
but they had to combine that with
right.
the other.
But I'm saying
the
Jeff
other
Lowe did
tape.
both of those. Jeff Lowe did all of it. Jeff Lowe did the first one, and then it didn't work out, so he told his guy to, fuck off. And then he did the second one.
Well, he
with the-
clearly came in to steal, like to just
steal the
jack
zoo.
up Joe Exotic's whole thing.
Yeah.
This is just my opinion. I mean, I just think it. I
Who
think
blew
it was
up?
all
Who
Jeff
blew
Lowe.
up the studio?
Oh, Joe Exotic.
Yeah,
think
Joe
Joe
Exotic. Yeah, Joe Exotic definitely blew up burnt down the studio.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough for that old newsman who's been like just looking for his break his whole life.
I love
And
that guy.
he's like Gil from The Simpsons. He's just like, I was so close there with the reality show.
Yeah, Rick Ansom or whatever.
Rick-
Yeah.
Which, by the way, like, did you guys catch like when they were introducing him? He's like, I've done some pretty crazy shit. It's like him getting lit on fire, and
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was interesting. He was
His coffee and cigarette setup in his confessional was hilarious. It was
Yeah.
just like the most classic, like.
that guy's seen some shit.
So, guys,
journalist
Joe Exotic
setup.
is suing for $94 million. I believe he's suing Netflix. Let me get the exact.
No, not Netflix. He's suing for $94 million. He claims he was falsely arrested and imprisoned and the victim of malicious persecution and discrimination, and the series of events in the show led to his mom's death that was documented in the show.
Wow.
Joe's suing the U.S. Department of Interior and the U.S. Federal Wildlife Service for placing the generic tiger on the endangered species list. He's saying that he's claiming that this was done for the sole purpose of targeting businesses like his, making them an endangered species, and essentially put him out of business and people like him. As he puts it, this equates to stealing my property and promoting an animal rights agenda. So he's suing the U.S. Department of Interior and the U.S. Federal Wildlife Service for like 79 of the 94 million, and then another 15 million for like something else. But he's not
Putting the whole
suing
system on
Netflix.
trial.
Yes. He alleges he was discriminated against because he is the only person charged with this statute because he is openly gay and has the largest collection of tigers. And he's like, what happened? with
Oh,
that?
wow,
Why-
that's amazing.
And he's like, why hasn't Task and Ansem and anyone else been charged, and Jeff Lowe? Why am I?
Well,
the
I
only
like
one?
how he's going. He wasn't going to give up. He was just going
Yeah.
to go after it.
That's right. He also has said he wants Jeff Lowe and the fat guy informant on the jet ski to be prosecuted. And also we have an update on John Finley, who was the Joe Exotic's first husband who had no teeth. Guy.
Don't say that. He had 6.
A few. That guy left. That guy left Joe Exotic eventually for his now wife, who was like the assistant,
Like the cashier.
Yeah, the
she was
cashier.
I think she was the bookkeeper.
and they were hooking up the whole time. Neither of Joe Exotic's husbands were gay, as we talked about earlier. They just liked his drugs. John Finley now has a full set of teeth, thank God, because his teeth were really difficult.
Those were
for me.
bad.
It was
That's
tough
impressive.
to watch. Tough to watch. They look good, really good now. He got veneers, and he's mad at Netflix because he got his new teeth back in July 2019, and they shot a bunch of footage of him with his full teeth, and they just cut it from the show. And he asked them to not cut it, and they did. And he also said he wants it to be clear that his teeth were missing for a genetic issue, not meth.
Yeah.
Although he. Oh yeah, right.
He said in the show.
Yeah.
Well,
he
a
said
genetic
in the
disposition to
show.
doing
Right.
methamphetamines.
Exactly. He does admit that he loved meth very much back then, and now he's 6 years sober. But that it's not all because of the meth. The genetic issue got him to
Well,
lose.
sure,
some teeth.
okay, combo, but he said in the show that the meth was like a contributing factor to his.
Yeah.
It was really
His
for
health
the greater good
Yeah.
to not show shots of him with full teeth. It was for the
And-
greater good. And guys,
Oh,
especially during
God.
coronavirus
No, it was
time
tough.
right now, we need entertainment. So quit being selfish,
Well,
Sean.
So the producers,
Good point.
the producers are all about entertainment, Pat, because they asked him why he was just like completely shirtless for all of his interviews, and he said he didn't want to be, but the producers made him. So like the producers told him to take his shirt off and just did a close up of his fucked up teeth the whole show.
He realized later what was going on. Like
Yeah.
they made a mockery.
They
out
made a
of it.
mockery out
I'm
of him.
so glad to hear that because I believe they did an interview with him while he was in the bath, and you know, have all of us having produced.
No, that was the guy that was gonna kill the Carol. That did
Right, but
the
like
bath.
we've all produced television before, and it's like, wait a minute, it's a you got to think behind the camera. Some guy was like, we're gonna do your interview at 6. We'll come over. Where should we do it? Why don't you get in the
Hop in the
bath?
bath.
Why don't you get in the bath and we'll shoot it? Like,
And the guy
Producers
said
manipulative.
yes. These guys said yes. That's my thing. All like the thing about this is that I think all of them really wanted to be in the documentary because like the guy normally people wouldn't agree to be
True.
like in a bathtub being interviewed.
Well, you get
But
paid.
these people did.
That's true.
They're
I have
paying
another.
them.
So,
I have another reason why you wouldn't want to work at Joe Exotic's place out of those 3. And we didn't get to see all the employees of the other places, but like Pat mentioned earlier, 2 of Joe Exotic's employees were missing limbs. One female got a tiger, just bit her arm off or ripped her arm off in a cage, and she decided to, instead of go through rehabilitation, just amputate it and go right back to work 5 days later. And
That
then
was crazy.
a guy broke his legs zip lining and never got him fixed and just worked at the zoo and just his legs just reformed like an ogre, and they
Yeah.
just were so fucked up that he had to get his legs amputated.
He
because
literally
was just-
worked them
yeah.
off.
Yeah, he worked his legs
Yeah,
off.
that was crazy.
Yeah. So that's why I wouldn't want to work at Joe Exotics or hang out at his place. He's got people losing
would
limbs
die for that guy. I mean,
Yeah.
they really like went to bat for him. But then
true.
even the guy who lost his
until the
legs said he
very
was
end.
disappointed him in
Until
the
the
end.
very
Yeah, so-
end. Yeah. And at the very end, he had no one. And that's going to do it for Hard Factor. Thanks for sticking with us through all this chaos. We will be there for you if you continue to be there for us. Please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and let us know how we are doing. We might stream tomorrow or over the weekend, just like shooting the shit or playing Monopoly or something, maybe some like a Friday night thing, who knows, like last week. We'll let you know on Barstool News Network or Hard Factor News Twitter if we go live, maybe try to get it out there. Buy the Lockdown Turn Up Meals for Wheels charity shirt, guys, if you can afford it. Drink plenty of water.
Meals for
And most
Wheels.
importantly, did I say it wrong?
You said
Wheels-
Meals on
for
Wheels.
wheels.
Meals on Wheels. Meals for Wheels. and most importantly, have a great fucking weekend.